So it's also really interesting because you said you came from Louisiana.
Yeah, I was born in Louisiana and raised.
So, and now you're successful. You have a social media following. You're in great shape. You live this crazy life. Mm-hmm. How does one get there? Like, where did this start?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I made a post last night in the war room, actually. Mm-hmm. I'd made a post that I'd paid my dad's house off, and somebody said to me, I'm really upset with myself. I had this goal to do that, and I hadn't done it yet. And he was talking about like how far it should be. And the reason I bring it up is because what I said to him is a lot of times you have internal growth. So for me, I was taking care of my fitness long before I was on the internet. I was taking care of my business. I was trying to have the best style I was conscious of, mm-hmm. In Louisiana. And I was reading books and I was doing all these things. So it was all this internal growth. So when the time came where I went to go online, I feel like it was substantially easier for people to accept me in the online space, being that as I had done all of these things like in the real world, mm-hmm. particularly around business, because a lot of people that I do interviews with and spend time with, they make their money from the internet. And I think when you look at particularly the guys, they're like, you do what for a living? That's how you got here? Okay, I respect that. I'll collab with you. Mm-hmm. And so in a lot of ways, I think I grew. Like, so if Myron and Walt respected me in some way, they let me come on the show or had me on the show. Rolo, Tate, Sterling, all those people. I just think there's a certain level of respect I got from the internal growth I had done mm-hmm. over a decade. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, no, that makes sense. You can come on. You'll do well, mm-hmm. And I have them to thank for it in a lot of ways. And you coming on your show, I mean, this is a big fucking channel. That's a million stuff.
Yeah, but it wasn't when you came on.
I get that. But the point I'm making is for me, how do I go from Louisiana mm-hmm. to London with you? Right. I think that any young man, if he wants to exit his small town, if he works on his stuff in his small town and he develops himself, if he were to go out and then try to take that internal growth and outwardly grow, that's a possibility, whether you live in Louisiana or Ohio or Indiana or mm-hmm. what have you. So, and in fact, I think it's probably a pretty good strategy because if you live in a small town and you just up and move to Miami, it's going to be shit. I think it's a much better decision to truly grow internally mm-hmm. and truly get competent where it's a little bit boring because you're going to need a lot of money to come to London, a lot of money to go to Dubai, mm-hmm. a lot of money to go to Miami. I just think it's a better place to be. And the funny thing is, before I went online, I don't think I was as proud. But what I've come to learn is the further I get away from home, the more proud I am of where I come from, And I don't ever want to like leave that behind because I think it's the part that people find to be genuine about a person, like where they're from, and the fact that they stay close to that, When I leave here and I go to my room tonight, we putting country music on or doing whatever I have to do while I'm folding my shit and putting it up.
Who's your favorite country artist?
George Strait or Aldean,
okay.
I have to say.
Good choice.
Yeah. I mean, you can't not like Morgan Wallen.
Right? I'm such a Morgan Wallen fan.
Yeah, no shit.
You hear his new song?
No, have you heard Sand in My Boots?
No, I haven't heard that one.
No way. It's good. It's good.
I like the one he just released. It's I don't want to sing it, but I hits in my head. I can't. My Hometown. I like that one.
Nice. Yeah. I think good country music's good for your soul.
It's like the only music that hasn't been corrupted, in my opinion, completely.
It got a little poppy, mm-hmm. but I think it's like a good religion. It stayed to its roots in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's not letting anybody break any crazy laws. I thought about coming out with a RedPill country. Side note.
You sing?
What? Ask Tristan.
Wow! Yeah. Look I could play the guitar. You could sing.
Maybe. Yeah, you could do it.
Could be a RedPill album.
Yeah, it could at least be a TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Louisiana, did you have siblings? Were you close with your parents? What was that like?
No, so it was broken home for sure. Mm-hmm. Mom cheated on my dad multiple times with guys from church.
From church?
Yeah, from church. Yeah, 30.
What kind of church was it?
Normal, non-denominational.
Really?
Kind of crazy. When I was a kid, we go to church and people were like speaking in tongues and falling on the floor and shit. Yeah.
They would speak in tongues.
You have you ever seen that?
On YouTube, never in person.
Oh, I've seen it in person. It's crazy. North Louisiana, man.
Is it real?
I think it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I think it's bullshit when people put their hands in the air and like close their eyes and start like act like they're getting lifted and stuff. I try not to be sacrilegious ever. I've just seen some things, man. It's just like, oh, you're doing this, but you're saying this, but you're doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and what is the red pill? It's like calling everything out for its bullshit. It's really just a pursuit of truth, right? So I've seen some things and it just kind of turned me off in time. But yeah, two guys from church. So
you're from a broken home. Your mom cheated on your dad.
Oh yeah, and 11 custody courts. They were going to put us in a foster home for sure. There was a lot of violence. They were going to. If we'd have gone again, there was a bit of violence going on. So it just, my mom. Yeah. Tough situation for sure.
And so then you graduated high school, and where'd you go next?
Yeah, so it was kind of one of those things where I didn't know how to get out of my town unless I played sports. And so I played football, baseball, basketball until my junior year. And then I found out that baseball scholarships were partial, and I didn't want to play D7 basketball, you know. So I ended up quitting those to gain some weight and play football. So I went and played football. And then when I got done, I had a construction management degree, but it was 2009. So there were no jobs. So I dug ditches for a while until I figured it out. Yeah.
So how did you start your company? Yeah, you figured it out. That's not,
yeah, I know. I feel like I've told the story so many times. I hate to be boring if anybody's ever seen this.
I've never.
So this is what happened. I worked for a company called Austin Bridge and Road. And I was digging ditches or cleaning off catch basins and getting, stuff for catch basins is what catches the water under the road. And I did that for a while. That job ended, so I moved to Baton Rouge. And I would wait tables at Texas de Brazil. And I would put up metal buildings or go apply for jobs during the daytime. And what ended up happening was they were building this hospital job. And I went to it once, and the lady's like, "You can't see the boss." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." I go back. "Can I see? Is he available?" She's like, "You can't come and see the boss." Well, so I think it was the third or the fourth time I went. I ended up talking to her about shit on her wall and her kids because she had photos up. And this is a job trailer on a construction site. The hospital's not done. They're building it. And she goes, "You know what? Stay right there." And I have my little resumes because I go hand them out during the day trying to get a construction job. And it had nothing on it, by the way. All it was is I played football and I had a construction management degree. But in 2009, there was not as much work. We were in the recession. So, grizzled 50-something-year-old white man comes in and he goes, "Are you Justin?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Come with me." So we go back in the job trailer, plops down in his seat, and he leans back and he's like, and I'm just like, slide it to him, right? And he looks at it. And he looks at me, he looks at it, he looks at me, and he flops it down on the table and he goes, "You mean to tell me that you've come in here 3 or 4 times? I know about you coming in here to talk to the boss to get a job on a $40 million hospital project." And I'm like, "Yes, sir." And he took a deep breath and he looked at me and goes, "I like that shit." And he gave me a job. Boom, got a job. And what I did was I went to the bank. You had to have a net worth of $10,000. And I had read Rich Dad Poor Dad my junior year of college. We're on the way to play Arkansas. And it was a bus trip. It was short, and like I, tried to get through it right. So I knew I wanted to have a business. I understood the quadrants, as they would say, like employee, business owner, it gets to investor, all those things. And so what I did is I went to the bank and I was like, "Listen, they're paying me per diem. I can live off of that. I want you to take my whole check and put it in this other account because I want to save up $10,000 because you had to have a net worth. You could have put my whole family together. It would have been negative something." You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let's leave them out of it. Let me see if, if I can save this money up. And sure enough, after 6 months, I saved the $10,000 up and I applied for my contractor's license. And that was 13 years ago. So.
And where did you get this drive from? Because it doesn't sound like either of your parents really, it sounds like they pushed you into business or anything.
No, not at all.
Yeah, because it's like, for me, It's just expected. That's like what everyone does. But for you, it's so interesting to hear when people come from like a background that maybe wasn't conducive, like the best place to grow up, and they still end up like crazy successful.
I think what happens is some people, and there are two of these people who are sitting here, some people see what their atmosphere has to offer and they follow it. Some people, like me, see their atmosphere and know what they don't want to become. And it was just simply that for me. And then you have to think too, high testosterone, young American, red-blooded, ambitious, sports background, competitive. And I wouldn't even say I'm that competitive, really. Like, I don't compare myself to people ever. And it's not because I'm like super against it. I just don't feel that way. It would be disingenuous for me to be like, I don't compare myself to other people because I love myself. No, I just really don't feel that way. I do love myself, and for that, you know. So I don't know exactly where it came from in regards to like what sparked it, but I do quite enjoy it. And I think that's probably has something to do with it. And I also think it's a bigger risk to have a really good job and be capped out than it'll ever be to fail. I'd much rather fail. I go bankrupt tomorrow. I would get a job that was shit enough that when I got caught working on my business, they'd fire me and I wouldn't care. And I think a lot of people get caught in that trap. They get that really good job and that mortgage has got to get paid. And if they lose that job, they're fucked. And I was just as happy in a shitty apartment that I am in my place in Miami, or my new house in Dubai is going to be, you know. So I actually think it's harder for you.
Really?
I do.
I hear every day how I had it very easy.
No, I get that. But it's perception, though.
Yeah.
It's perception. Like, I always say about rich children, it's like being born in the zoo in captivity. Let's say you're a lion. You get born in the zoo. You get fed every day. The zoo closes. They kick you out into the jungle, but you don't know how to hunt. And for you, it's the gap in perception, right? So anything short of being white trash from Louisiana, I'm doing better than I started. For you to even get to where your father got you guys is a lot of fucking work.
Oh, I will not.
Right?
I will not get to where my father is.
But you do understand.
I don't want that life.
To be clear, you do understand.
Yeah.
So maybe for you it's a freedom thing or something else. What is it?
What do you mean?
What drives you? You know how they say behind every good man is a strong woman? Sometimes women are really good managers. I have women in very important management roles. So, toughen up or fire on one.
Yeah, I just think 200 people, that would be a lot. I don't.
It's a lot, but if you understand like scaling and stuff like that, I mean, think about it, people do it all the time.
Tell me, how do you scale?
How do you scale?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, systems, hiring systems, understanding the psychology of it's a very long conversation. Okay, but we can have a scaling conversation. Probably it's a whole different show.
Oh, this is like that's too far.
It's long winded.
It's not a 5 second.
It'll be an hour from now, and you'll be like, okay, well, it was good talking to you. Okay, it took me a decade to figure out. I tell you,
we can come back to scaling.
Yeah,
we can come back.